Hello, everyone. I'm Bridgette Clarke. I live in Sunny Beach Show, and today's guest is.
Hi everyone, my name's Pete Clingen.
Well, welcome.
Thanks very much, Bridgette. Thanks
Yes,
for having
thank
me.
you. So please tell everyone who you are.
Yeah, my name's Pete Clingen. I'm an entertainment professional. I reside out here in Las Vegas. Started working in entertainment on cruise ships back in the year 2000 in Australia. I made my way over to the US for other cruise companies, and from there, just through hard work and a whole heap of luck, winded up in this incredible industry of entertainment. So it's been a great ride. Feel very fortunate, very grateful for the entire journey.
Okay, very nice. So you've also worked on the strip.
Yep, yeah, worked on a few shows on the strip for sure. All up and down the strip. Managed Thunder from Down Under for probably 5 years. I'm still in recovery from that, so that's a joke, by the way. But shout out to the Thunder guys, still some of my best mates that I've got, out here in Vegas. Had a great time with that. Human Nature, who had a show
Very nice.
at Imperial Palace to start with, and then at the Venetian. Now the Human Nature guys are at South Point. I was with Human Nature for a few years as well. And they were running their Motown show, then a show called Jukebox down here, and then just been involved with a bunch of other shows that sort of got started on the ship. I think there were on the strip. Sorry, there was a Elvis show at Harrah's I was involved with for a while, but just bits and pieces here and there as well. So
Right.
and a lot of us who work as crew within Vegas as well, whether it be company managers or tour managers or whatever it may be, we do a lot of filling in for each other. Piff the Magic Dragon, Johnny Vanderput, good mate of mine. So so it's been fun. It's a challenging industry for sure, but it's a good one. It's always really interesting.
So were you in the Down Under show?
I wasn't. No, I never took any clothes off on stage, but no, I was more in a managerial type role for the Thunder from Down Under show. Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
And so what are the people you've worked with?
Oh well, I mean, from over the years, the biggest name I'm associated with is a jazz saxophonist named Dave Koz.
Yes.
Grammy nominee, star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So Dave's one of my closest friends, and still, predominantly spend all my time working for Dave and all of his ventures. But as we spoke about off camera before, on these cruises we have guys Jeffrey Osborne, Michael McDonald, Valerie Simpson, the great Motown legend, Christopher Cross, and also some young artists that I'm massively into. A couple of Hawaiian guys who are incredible, Jake Shimabukuro, Ron Artiste II, who he's a blues and sort of Americana musician who is an absolutely phenomenal musician. Just came off a festival with Ron a couple of weeks ago over in Italy, which Dave Koz was putting on. And super lucky. The list goes on, as I said, Thunder, Human Nature, a bunch of Australian acts,
Truly a blessing, yes.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great fun,
So you travel a lot.
A hell of a lot, yeah. Yeah, so I'm on the road, yeah, a lot of the year, which is tough, but I think it has sort of settled down a little bit. I'm not really tour managing too much anymore, which I do love tour managing. That's the thing, but just with all the festivals that I've been producing for probably the last 10 years, it's got to a point where it's too busy.
Okay, very nice. So you started when you were 20?
Yeah, 20. I got a job as the teen director, so I ran the teenage club on the one cruise ship that was in Australia at the time, a ship called Pacific Sky, and just absolutely loved it. If I didn't get that job when I was 20, I feel like I'd still be trying to get on there. That was something that I definitely wanted to do. I took a cruise as a teenager and just loved everything about it. Loved the travel, loved how much fun it seemed to be for the crew members on there. So from pretty much when I came off that cruise, everyone talks about the power of thinking about something all the time, or what you become, or what you think about you become. And that's how silly I am. That actually did work for me. All I could think about was being on that ship and being a crew member, and it worked out for me probably a year or so later. But I've never really done it again, surprisingly. Like I've never had those, visual things again like I did then. Even though that is the time that it worked for me. And that was the sort of entry level that gave me everything, as getting on there. Of course, you got to work hard. Of course, you got to be
Right.
reliable and
Mm-hmm.
responsible. But, that was the door that opened that I was lucky enough to walk through. And everything,
Truly
without
a
that, there's
blessing.
no chance I'd be here if I didn't get that job running the teen club on the ship. And then, of course, you progress into different areas. And years later, I got a job working on a cruise line over here in the US.
Okay. So that
And
was your vision. You saw
yeah, I
it.
mean, just to get on the ship really in
Mm-hmm.
Australia, I didn't really have any more grand visions than that. I just thought I'd probably do that for the rest of my life because I was so excited to do it, when I was 20 years old, and then, things just progress, and you
Right.
get a little bit comfortable doing one thing, and you think I probably should go on and try to do
Mm-hmm.
something else.
Before you know it, you ended up here.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
yeah, got a contract on a ship in the US and worked my way up to be a cruise director, and then
Very nice.
I was working on the ships when all of a sudden all these big what they call cruise ship charters would come on
Mm-hmm.
board. So which would basically mean a company would rent the entire ship for a week, and you do all different types of
So all
charters.
shows.
Yeah, well they
Mm-hmm.
they just basically produce whatever they want, whatever their festival is.
Okay.
So it could be I've done gay festivals, lesbian festivals, music festivals, like soul festivals, jazz festivals, you name it. So if you want to take the ship for a week, you can basically do whatever you want. And then the final charter of this, we had a huge run of charters. The Super Bowl was doing a charter. This was 2005
The
in
Super Bowl
Jacksonville.
too?
Yeah, 2005 in Jacksonville. The ship I was on happened to be chartered for the
Right.
Super Bowl. So we had three ships there in Jacksonville, the Eagles against the Patriots, and everyone was coming on these ships, all these major celebrities coming on these
How
ships,
did
and
that
then
go?
it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time, and people there to have a blast with their
Mhm.
team, or the NFL. As I mean, Americans do sport so incredibly well.
Exactly.
So it was a great experience. And then the final charter came on. It was a cruise called the Smooth Jazz Cruise, and that
Mhm.
was featuring guys like the old NBA player Wayman Tisdale, Marcus Miller,
Yes.
and then Dave Koz came on that as a guest, just to see if he'd be prepared to do his own cruise. And that's where I met Dave, and that's sort of where our relationship started, and we've been incredibly close friends sort of ever since. And
So
yeah,
since then.
it was obviously a bunch of people who helped me, me and the team do what we do. But Dave's sort of the visionary behind it all,
Mhm.
and it's been great. You couldn't
Truly a
imagine working for
blessing.
a better guy.
Yes. Hmm. So I know you've probably seen a lot. Like you said, you've been out for a while and you've been doing it for how many years?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm from on the cruise ship since the year 2000, and then sort of, I never really saw music as what I would get into,
Hmm.
entertainment wise, I was always sort of part of the entertainment departments on the cruise ships,
Right.
but after coming off there and getting sort of associated with Dave, that's when things sort of started happening, and for me within the music industry, so tour
So
management and all that sort of stuff. And that's one thing I absolutely love, tour managing, and that sort of found me. I didn't find it,
very nice.
so it was good. Yeah, my skills sort of fell pretty naturally into tour managing.
Okay. Speaking of which, you met your wife on there.
On the cruise ships, I met my
Hmm.
wife. Yeah, so my wife was a dancer on a ship that I'd been working on there for quite a long
Hmm.
time, and she came on as a dancer in the last
Hmm.
month that I was on there. And I hate using the term whirlwind romance, but
Hmm. So kind of like the Love Boat.
well, you can say that. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
Hmm.
no, look, it was great. Yeah, we met each other, and we were together for about 3 years, going back and forth between the US and Australia,
Hmm.
and then yeah, we decided to tie the knot, and it's
Been
gone
history,
really
huh?
well ever since. Yeah, so it's
Hmm.
been great. Thanks
Congratulations.
very much. Yeah, yeah, been
Yes.
really lucky. So but yeah, she's absolutely incredible. It's I wouldn't have anything that I've got without her. We've got two young kids, and
Hmm.
she's got her own business, and she's had her own business for over 10 years in Vegas out here. She's owns her own Pilates business, so she's got a hell of a lot on her
Okay.
plate. And with me being away so much, it doesn't help her at all. So I take my hat off to her, and I'm so appreciative to
So do
her
you
for.
do family cruises and things like that?
My family will come on the cruises that I do, and
Hmm.
occasionally we will go on for pleasure ourselves,
Right.
But yeah, the kids will come on and they love it. They can't get enough of it. So,
Very
and
nice.
for me, I just, I've been so lucky where I've been able to see so much of the world, and I think it's so important. It's such a great education
Hmm.
to see as much of the world as you can. You realise that wherever you are, most people are just like you, and there's not, it's yeah, all of us should be able to mix really well together. And I love that
Sure.
aspect about the cruise ship. We'd have 50, 60 nationalities all working together on
Hmm.
there, and it all worked
It's a
really
beautiful
well.
thing.
Yeah, so it was good. It
Yes.
was really good. But
Hmm.
but yeah, no, we're super lucky. Met my wife, and we somehow worked it out, and Vegas became our spot, and
Been here
it's been
before.
really good to us. It's I couldn't. I
Hmm.
mean, I've been all over the US many times, but I couldn't
Right.
imagine being more comfortable in anywhere in the US as much as I'm here in Vegas.
Okay. So born and raised.
Born and raised in
In,
Sydney, Australia, and was there till I moved here when I was 27, I think. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was great. I mean, it was a very hard place to leave. It's a pretty special place
I
down there.
know
So
Vegas is home for a lot of people.
yeah, well, Vegas is great. Yeah, I mean, that's
Hmm.
this sort of has become my home for sure. So
Hmm.
and probably at the time I wouldn't have thought so when I first moved out here, but now I think it's such a great place to raise a family, and it's such an exciting place. I mean, I've been all over the world, luckily, many times, but I honestly don't think there's a more exciting place that you could live right now here in
Right. Never a dull moment.
2024 to what we're experiencing here in Vegas. All the sport in town, the F1's coming to town
That's right.
every week. I know I got friends of mine
Hmm.
who are working on Kerry Underwood down at Resorts World this week. Bruno Mars is always in. I mean, it's just whatever you like, you can get it here, and I think
Exactly.
that's really cool.
So you worked on with them also?
No, I don't work with those acts I just mentioned, but over the
Hmm.
years I have worked on many residencies here on the Vegas Strip. I mean, more the two I work for the most, definitely Thunder from Down Under and Human Nature, who are Australia's biggest vocal group. So yeah, we've had some great times. It's
Hmm.
been so much fun.
So what has been your challenge throughout the
Well,
years
I mean,
getting there?
look, I mean, professionally, you're always going to run into challenges, but sometimes I think they're a bit more easy to overcome because you're in the thick of it. That's what you're paid to do. You're paid to overcome those challenges. I mean, I think more than anything, personally, that's where it gets hard.
Hmm.
We're all of us, whether we like to think it or not, we're all so flawed, and
Exactly.
it's a difficult thing. It's I think that's my biggest challenge is just personally of who I'm trying to be. Who I'm trying to be for the dad I'm trying to be for the kids, for me
Hmm.
kids, the husband I'm trying to be for me wife, the son I'm trying to be for me mum, the brother I'm trying to be for me sisters. Professionally, I do a lot of public speaking and that sort of stuff in my role as a producer on for Dave Cos and the cruises I
Hmm.
work on. And I know people will say that is a hard thing, for a lot of people to overcome. But for me, I realise that no one really cares. It's not going to. It's not going to. It's not
Change
going to. It's not going
anything?
to mean anything at the end of the day whether
Hmm.
someone thinks I'm a good sort of public speaker or not. And I just want to make sure that I put in the maximum effort I can. Because
Right.
so my family and all the people that have put so much effort into me, that's what they deserve. It's not so more so what I
Right.
think I deserve, but my family's put so much effort into me, and what
Family's
the
everything.
stage of life I'm in right
Hmm.
now. I feel I'm very fortunate. I got a beautiful family, and we're very lucky.
Yes.
But that's all because of I think of growing up. My uncles, my aunties, of course, my mum and dad, my grandparents were with me every day. And I mean, my grandfather was a street kid. He was homeless at 13, and so when I sit in my backyard and I'm having a beer and I'm having a swim in my pool with my kids, as much as I am, I'm very happy that I've been afforded this lifestyle. The
Hmm.
main thing I think about is all the people that have put all the effort into me so I can have this lifestyle, So,
Yes.
so yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Just, all of us are going through some sort of pain. Where am I going to take that pain? What am I going to do to overcome it?
Exactly.
What am I going to do? Whatever my
Hmm.
pain is, what am I going to do to overcome that every day so I can go out and try to be
Right.
maybe, you know, we can't be the best version of ourselves every day, but we can try and be as good as we can be, you
Or a
know.
reflection, right?
Yeah, so you know,
Exactly.
so no, it's been. But look, on the big scheme of things, it's been an incredible ride. You couldn't ask for much more.
So
You know,
what's your passion?
I just think, you know, passion and purpose is just putting on great events for people. You know,
Hmm.
the thing that I love about the music industry, like I'm obsessed with sport. You know, I absolutely love
Sports
sport.
fanatic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
Hmm.
love it. The first thing I do, you know, when I wake up in the morning when I'm having my coffee is check the sports news. I'm totally
Hmm.
obsessed with sport. But you know, the difficult thing about sport, and especially if you know you're one of the teams that I support, you don't
Hmm.
win too often. You know, so the thing of going to a sporting event, it's such a great thing, but 50% of the people there, they leave unhappy. Where if you go to a concert, whatever, if you go to an incredible concert, everyone is leaving there in the same direction, you know. And I think the great thing about it is for the people that are going well when they're sitting in that concert, they leave on cloud nine, you know. But
Okay.
for the people that do have, you know, who are going through a struggling time or a difficult time in their life, they can be in there for 2 hours and forget about whatever it is they're going through,
Right.
forget about it, and then leave hopefully with a sense of renewal. I know that, you know, from the shows that I come out of my own pocket to go to, I'm going there to relax and just
Hmm.
try and forget about everything that is happening in my life for a couple of hours, you know, and take it easy. So I think that's the power of music, you know. You
That's
go
so
in,
true.
yeah, and that's what I love about the industry.
It
It's
just takes you somewhere
so I
else.
think, you know, for the passion and
Hmm.
purpose side of it, I want to, regardless of what money's involved or what else is involved, you
Hmm.
know, the thing that I want to portray is my purpose is going out and putting on incredible events for people where they can go and enjoy themselves. You
So
know, I
that's
mean,
your purpose.
well, yeah, all of us only have so long. None of us really know how long that's going to be. So
Well, a lot of people don't know their purpose.
yeah, no, well, look, I
Hmm.
think it's a hard thing to find, but I think, you know, from when I started on the cruise ships when I was 20, I remember the teens that would come in and be part of that club,
Hmm.
and still to this day, it's still one of my favourite jobs, you know, because before this was the year 2000, so there wasn't your social media and all this sort of stuff. So basically, what we had was we had personal connection with each other.
Exactly.
And you know, now it's like you
Hmm.
wonder why everyone's so depressed. And I'm not saying I don't go through bouts of that either, but
Hmm.
we're here to connect. All of us are here to connect,
I
you know.
agree.
So, and you know, some people aren't going to suit you, and that's fine. But the people that you do connect with, you got to, you know, show them that you love them and show them you have a good time with them, you know.
I agree.
So I'd say that's, you know, my biggest thing is trying to wake up and you've got your personal purpose, which of course is your family, and you
Hmm.
know, trying to get the most out of your life, try and have as much fun as you can with your life. But on the flip side of that, I couldn't imagine anything better to do. And you know, look, it's challenging as much as, you know, it's challenging. There's
Hmm.
budgetary restraints, everything.
It's
It's
life
it's so
itself.
it's such a huge business, the entertainment business. But
Right.
if you for me, if I have the, you know, my thoughts are around the purpose of it rather
Hmm.
than you know, the reason why I'm doing it rather than what money's going to come in. So that's more important for me, because then it could be 10 people show up to something that I'm putting on, and
Hmm.
if they've got something out of it, that's got to make you feel pretty good, I think, you
Most
know.
definitely. Yes. So, with that being said, what would you say got you through your dark times, your depression, as you say?
Well, I just think,
Hmm.
you know, I don't think it's all bad going through that, going through stress and depression. And, you
Hmm.
know, I mean, I think every human's probably dealing with that. You don't feel good every minute of every
Exactly.
day,
Right.
you know. So,
Hmm.
but I just think, number one, I don't, do I have a choice? Do I have a choice to not show up? I don't think I do, because I got a wife, I got two kids, I got,
Hmm.
you know, I got the way I want my life to go. I want my kids to go to a great school. I
Right.
want to have as much fun as I can. I want to take my wife on great vacations, take her to great restaurants, take her to great shows.
Hmm.
I want to go back and see my family in Australia a couple of times a year. So I don't have a, the way I see it is
Hmm. How'd you get through?
I mean, I have to get through. There's no choice, you know.
Okay.
So, but I think, you know, from what we were talking about before, the pain
Yes.
perspective of it, you know, it's all of
Hmm.
us have that. You know, for me, the biggest thing is my dad's been gone 15 years, Me and him
Sorry
were
to hear
very,
that.
very close friends.
Mm-hmm.
As close as a kid and their dad could be. And I had
Yes.
29 great years with him. And I know a lot of people don't get that. I had a friend of mine out here on the weekend who never met his dad, and
Right.
so we were talking a fair bit about that sort of thing. And I'm incredibly grateful for the 29 great years I had with my dad. But you go through stages in your life where you probably, as you get older, especially, where you need that person to be there for you to explain. I've got a very close
Mm-hmm.
relationship with my mum,
Right.
but she's coming at it from a female perspective. I,
Yes.
I, I need it from a male
Yeah.
perspective. I'm lucky I've got great role models, my uncles I'm very close with, but it's one of those things where it's my grandparents I was very close with, and I miss them so much. And you try to you've got to work out a way to get through that. And
Exactly.
it's not an easy thing to do. And it's ridiculous to think my dad's been gone 15 years and it still affects me the way it does.
I understand.
I've been in therapy with a great lady
Yes.
since pretty much since that happened, just to talk
Mm-hmm.
through it, and that helps a hell of a lot. I think
Right.
that's one place where you can sort of take your pain and your issues and
Mm-hmm.
get it off your chest with someone who is just going to try and help you work through the process. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing, for me, is where, as I said before, where do I take the pain? Do I let it overrun me, or do I try and work with it
Control it.
do I take it? I try to have these things set up. Do I take it on a run and try and bury it on a run? Do I take it
Mm-hmm.
in an ice plunge and try and bury it, try and drown it in there? Do I take it in a sauna, try and sweat it out? Take it on a walk and just try and talk to it.
Mm-hmm. You can't hide from it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. You eventually learn that, and
Mm-hmm.
there's huge things right now around happiness, but I think everything is. You go in and out of everything. You go out of incredibly happy times. You go in and out
Yes.
of depressed times, stressful times. But I think
It's life.
it's probably just part of life, isn't it?
Yes.
And
No perfect life for
the
anyone.
thing, the one way I've tried to make a bit of peace with it is trying to think back to my family members that
Mm-hmm.
I did know, or I do know now, I'm still living with
Right.
now, is maybe it's part of their experience that I'm just getting a taste of.
Mm-hmm.
My mum went through incredibly tough times, and I saw her come out of it. So that's the thing for me. I've seen someone do it
Go
in a
through it.
much worse
Mm-hmm.
in much worse circumstances that I've gone through it
And
in.
it
So
made you stronger.
yeah, well, you've got to be pretty confident that you can get through it as
Yes.
well. And
Exactly.
that's, I don't think, no one, if it was, if success and money made you happy, billionaires wouldn't be blowing their heads off or jumping off the top of buildings. So I think, extrinsically, it's very hard to be happy.
Right.
Intrinsically, that's where you've got to try and create or find your happiness, but it's not really easy.
Right.
Extrinsically, you can buy yourself a flash car, you can buy yourself a great home,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. At the end of the day, your
You got to
problems are
find your
still going to
happy
be your
place.
problems. You're not gonna.
Exactly.
It's not gonna make it really that much easier on you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think gratitude's another big thing. I mean, first thing in the morning, trying to get through what are such simple things. I've got a roof over my head.
Waking up.
Yeah,
Yes.
my kids are healthy. My wife's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a good relationship with my kids and my wife. A
Yes.
couple of months, I'll be going back to Australia for Christmas. That's exciting.
That should be nice.
So I mean, I think the biggest thing is just you. I remember this is the story I always tell my kids. When I first got off the plane from Sydney and LA, the last thing I wanted, it was too many people for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was, a bit overwhelming. I'd never seen so many. I'd
Right.
been to London, but I'd never really seen so many people in the one place as I did at LAX. I'm like, I should just turn around and go home. I remember calling my dad, and his advice was, well, take one step and then another, and you'll get on the next plane. Then you'll be in another place. Then take another step, and every step it's just going to become easier and easier and easier to get through it. And one great thing, every Wednesday in the States, every Thursday morning in Sydney,
Mm-hmm.
I still have a call every week with my dad's best friend.
So you
And
use that in every part of your life
well,
now.
yeah, and he's a very successful guy, but he's been through the ringer. He He went broke when he was about 40. He's been in Alcoholics Anonymous for 35 years,
Mm-hmm.
still going to meetings there. And I remember talking to him about the same thing, because it is a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you get through? I mean, he was going through times where he had two kids and a wife. He
Right.
was an alcoholic, and he'd had a bunch of failed businesses and owed
Mm-hmm.
money everywhere. And I was like, so, no, I haven't been through a time
Mm-hmm.
like that's been that bad,
Yes. Well, thank God for that.
And I said to him, what did you do every morning? He's like, my two non-negotiables were getting out of bed every morning and you just face your problems.
Right.
And and he said, eventually, a lot of people talk about the universe these days, but he said eventually when the universe realizes that no problem's gonna stop you, it stops giving you problems.
So, what would be your advice to the world then when they're
Well,
going through
number
their dark
one, don't
times?
take any advice that I've got to give you.
Mm-hmm.
That would be number one. But no, I just think, I mean, all of us are going through some type of pain, whatever it is.
Right.
Even the people that seem on the outside to be super successful or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
We all
and,
deal
and,
with
and
it.
even the people that are super successful, you find when they hit a goal of theirs
Yes.
that they will go into a depression because what they've wanted to achieve they have. So what is next? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it is one step at a time. Really, if we really want to have a go at life and
Mm-hmm.
enjoy ourselves as much as we can, then I don't think we have the option to give up, to not get out of bed. And every day is some days are going to be unbelievable, other days aren't. But
Right.
that's
Push through it.
that's what life is. You see
Exactly.
these great tennis players or these great golfers or whatever it is, they can't play their best every single day. But the
Mm-hmm.
guys who are the winners of those sports in
Mm-hmm.
particular, they just keep finding a way to fight.
Right.
And and that's just a game. That's not exactly life. That's just a game. But I think it's a good metaphor for life is that they will just hang in
Mm-hmm.
until the tide turns. And I think we've
Exactly.
seen over the last few years with COVID, I was completely down and out through COVID. The entertainment industry, we had no work.
Oh, it affected
I couldn't
everyone.
get back to Australia where my family
Yes.
were. No one knew what effect it was going to have on us. And I
Mm-hmm.
was completely down and out. But I still remember every day through that, I still had, things that I was excited about, things to be grateful for. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think, the biggest thing is with I think with gratitude of the smaller things. As I said,
Yes.
what are the things you can't put a price on? Your kids are healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife's healthy. You got a roof over your head. Your belly,
Right.
our bellies are full. I mean, we're in front of everybody. If that's the case, we don't
Mm-hmm.
have really much to be upset
So
about.
we have a lot to be grateful for as well
Yeah,
as
for sure. And I
thankful.
think I mean,
Yes.
social media. You could say it's done some good things for the world, but it's also it's ruined a lot of things as well, and I think a lot of programs as well. And I mean, it's none of my business. I don't get involved in stuff like the Kardashians and that sort of stuff. But one thing that I don't like about it is
Mm-hmm.
is all that particular stuff does is say that once you have this bag, you'll be enough. Once you have this car, you'll be enough. Well,
Right.
it's just garbage.
When will
It's
it be
absolute
enough?
garbage.
Right.
You've got to tell yourself that you're enough in the way you are,
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of stuff. It's just absolute garbage. And if people get joy out of it, go for your life and go and watch it because it's not going to affect my life at all.
Mm-mm.
You know?
Why do you think they were like often just, taking themselves out over money? So I know that a lot of people live off of that and we need it, to
Well, of course,
survive.
it's
But
important to have, but it's not the
mm-hmm.
be all end all. It's
Right.
I mean, as I said before, my grandparents, had nothing, but I just feel with them, I felt like,
Mm-hmm.
my earliest, happiest memory was going the first time I ever caught a plane with them to a place in Australia called the Gold Coast. And that's the memory that I try and think about whenever things do get tough. That early
Right.
happiest memory of the way I felt during that. I felt protected. I felt happy. I
Mm-hmm.
felt safe.
Simple
I felt
things.
excited.
Right.
And we had they had absolutely nothing. But with them, I felt like I was standing on top of a
You
mountain,
had
the
everything.
richest person on earth.
Right.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think look, the pressures of life are always going to come up. We're always going to
Mm-hmm.
have them, but that's everybody. That's not
Right.
no one's immune from those pressures.
Mm-hmm.
So just
It's
keep
part of
going,
life.
one step at a time. I guarantee you, every step you take towards the problem, It's not going to be comfortable, but it will get easier and easier.
That's right.
So,
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing
no
that.
worries. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. So, what are your platforms?
As social media platforms,
Mm-hmm.
this. I've got a lot to say about this. None.
Okay.
I got no. Yeah, I mean, the companies that I work for have websites. They have social media, but there's
But
no
you don't
point
do
me
it.
wasting me time on it. What a waste. I just find it to be a complete waste of time. I'd rather be having fun doing some other stuff.
Just natural thing.
If anyone, I'll say this: if anyone has the time to join what the social media that I'm putting out there, you should have your head read. It's because it's not interesting enough, And I got a really interesting life, but that's my life. That's I got whatever anyone else wants to do. Go for your life. Go and have as much whatever you. I just think you should have as much fun doing what you love as you possibly can with the people you love.
But good for you.
Outside of that, I got no time for platforms.
That's right.
I've got a couple of kids who want to have some fun, and a wife that I want to have a good time with, and my family, and
100% family man.
well, you try to be for sure, and but yeah, I mean, my platform is when I'm in Australia, going to the beach, having a good time, having fun with the 6 inches that are in front of me. What am I doing right now? And
You're right.
yeah, so no, I don't have much time for that.
So, any advice for the men? So,
for the men?
Yes, because I know you wasn't always married, but
yeah, no, I mean, have a good time. Try and find someone that you'd crawl a mile over broken glass to be with, I guess, and try and love them as much as you can. Don't take it too seriously. Just try and have a good time with them. And,
that's right.
Look, that's a hard deal. I mean, I'm certainly as flawed as anybody else out there. But I love my wife. I love my kids. And I just want to have as much fun as I can before they put me in a pine box. Life's not forever.
So as long as you give 100% of everything that you do to your loved ones and just people you care about, and just people in general.
Well, I think just whatever your 100% is that day, as we were saying before, not every day you're not going to be firing on all cylinders all the time.
Right.
So. Look, it's a tough thing. As I said, I'm so flawed. I shouldn't be giving anyone any advice. But I mean, one thing, I am an incredibly common person. As I said, we've all got faults. We've all got a lot of issues, a lot of pain. So, what way are we going to get through that?
That's right.
And maybe that's what life's about, is trying to solve that problem for yourself. And I think it's always a moving target, which makes it difficult. It's
right.
But just be as prepared as you can. Turn up on, that's a massive thing. Turn up on time. Make sure you're on time. Make sure you've had a shower. Make sure you look the part, and connect with people. If you can have a conversation with someone, you're so miles in front of the rest of the game. And I think, anyone who's young who's watching this, you got such an advantage. People, I think of me and my mates and people who are my age or older, everyone was super competitive. No one wanted to be outdone by anyone else.
That's true.
Now everyone's looking for the extra pay before they add the value. Add the value first. Be there on time. Make yourself irresistible to whoever you're working for. Make it so they cannot turn you away in favor of somebody else. Make yourself irresistible. And if you do that, then you turn up on time. You make yourself irresistible to whoever you're working for, or whatever format you're in at that current stage. If you're out on a date, whatever it is, just make yourself as irresistible as you can be to them, and make sure you work as hard as you can. Why not? Nothing bad can come from working hard.
So be the best you that you can be.
If you can, yeah. But on for that particular day, and that's going to vary, But number one, more than anything, just be on time, be clean, and just be professional. That you're going to be. I think you'll be a world beater with those three things, because no kids are willing to do that anymore.
No, a lot has changed.
Well, a lot. I shouldn't say. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. They're looking for what they can get out of something.
Shortcuts and things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, just it's not going to happen every time for you either. Maybe 1 in 10 will pan out, but I can tell you, more than 1 in 10 have panned out for me, and I'm nothing more special than anybody else. But I am disciplined. I will turn up on time, and why wouldn't I want to work hard? As I said before, the people that have put all the effort into me, they deserve my best. You know, my family, especially my mum, my uncles, my sisters, my aunties. They put so much into me. They've supported me so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, everyone that I'm doing something for deserves my best because of what they've put into me. You know?
Very
and,
nice.
And they deserve that.
Yes. Well, thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
sharing
having
your
me.
journey.
Yeah, it was good fun. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, Bridgette.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you.
God bless
Good
you.
on you.
Yes. So everyone, thank you so much for watching the show today. And continue to watch, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. God bless.